Hello, welcome to JavaScript tutorial, chapter 20, part 1, JavaScript Events, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In this session, we are going to learn about the events present in JavaScript. So, here comes the events. They are OnClick, OnFocus, OnBlur, OnChange and OnSubmit. Now we are going to see a demo of all these JavaScript events. So the first and foremost event is OnClick. So let me jump into my Visual Studio Code and let me show you how to achieve this OnClick event. It's very simple. So what I'll do first is I'll take an input control, and that input control will be of type button, and let me assign the value to that button. The value is click me. Okay, now let me push this page to the browser, and here is the folder where I saved it. So as soon as I do that, I'll get a button on the web page. You can observe very clearly. Now my objective is, now when I click on this button, I should get an alert message telling like hello JavaScript tutorial. Okay, how to achieve that? We can achieve that with the help of OnClick event. In the sense, if someone clicks on this button, okay, a function has to get executed. So how to achieve that type of event, or how to attach a click event to this button? It's very simple. Now let me jump back to my Visual Studio Code, and here we have an attribute called OnClick. You can observe very clearly. Okay, to this OnClick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a JavaScript function, and the function name is test function. Let me name the function as test function. So now what I'll do is I need to write a definition for this JavaScript function. So where I'll write that function definition in the script tag. So here I'll write a function for the definition function. So the function name is test function. Okay, here I'm going to call alert function. Within that I'll write hello JavaScript tutorial. Okay, now what happens is, now as soon as the user clicks on this button, okay, I've attached I've called an attribute called OnClick. Okay, if some user clicks on this button, okay, this function will get executed. So what is the definition of this function? This function contains a definition. Okay, it will bring an alert message on the web page telling like hello JavaScript tutorial. Now when I do Control S, let me go back to the browser, and now I'll refresh the page. Now you observe very clearly, now when I click on this button, I'll get a pop-up message telling like hello JavaScript tutorial. This is how you can achieve or you can attach an event to a HTML control. Okay, OnClick. This is what we learned about OnClick event, and similarly we have other events like OnFocus, OnBlur, OnChange and OnSubmit. Now let us understand what is this OnFocus event very clearly. Okay, now to understand that very clearly, now let me jump into my Visual Studio Code again. So here what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove this entire script present here, and also this input type. So what I'll do here is I'll enter your name, okay. Now let me add a input type, and the input type is text. So after that, let me assign an ID to it. Okay, the ID will be demo. So after that, I need to call an event, that is OnFocus event. So we have an attribute for that. It is OnFocus. Okay, OnFocus, I need to call one method, JavaScript method or function. What is the method name I'm going to give? I'm going to give a method name as GotFocus. Okay, to that I'll pass this dot id. Okay, now after that I'll take a button. Okay, to that button what I'm trying to do is I'm going to attach a value. The value will be submit. Okay, now I need to write a definition for this function get focus. So what happens right now is I need to define a function for that. Function is got focus. To that I'll pass a ID. So this focus is taking this got focus method is taking a parameter and it is ID parameter. Okay, now what I need to do is document element by ID. So to this I need to pass the ID whatever this method is getting there right now. So ID, what I need to do is I need to, once the function fetches the particular element with the help of this ID, it has to write some style. So I'll change the background of it. Background is equal to red. Okay, now when I do Control S, now what I'll do right now is, now I'll just comment this code as of now. Now let me go back to my browser and let me refresh. Okay, what we are going to get right now is we're going to get enter your name and a text box and a submit button. Now you can observe, now when I type something, when I click on that, on focus, okay, in the sense this input background is not changing. On focus something should happen. So what is the code I've written there? The code is, it has to change the background color. So to Control S, to this input text box I've attached on focus event. Okay, now what I'll do, now I'll go back to my browser. Now let me refresh. Now you can observe, now I'll type something here. You can observe, as soon as I focused on this, let me refresh. You can observe very clearly. Now as soon as I click on that text box to write some content, okay, it's get focusing. How? Because with the help of this event, on focus event. So what we are doing here right now, we are changing the background color of that input text box on focus. Once the user focus on that, the background color is changing. This is how the on focus event help us. Okay, and what is the next function we have? Sorry, next event is on blur. Okay, now let me show you how on blur event works. It's very simple. Let me go back to Visual Studio Code and let me keep this code itself, or let me change a few parts on blur. Okay, let me change the function name as call function. Okay, the function name as call function, and now I'm having a button. Okay, and a button, and now what I need to do is I need to change the function name for the definition, call function, and this function will take the ID, and this also does the same thing. Okay, to Control S, now let me go back and now let me refresh this page. You can observe, now I'll type something. Okay, this is on blur. Now as soon as I click the button, you can observe very clearly the background color of the text box is changing. This is on blur. Okay, in the sense, once I finished entering the content here, when I come out of that, okay, the text box background has to change. In the sense, on blur event we have to call there exactly. Okay, this is what on blur. Okay, observe very clearly. On focus is, as soon as I will click on the input box, will the background color will change. That is on focus. Now once I come out of this, okay, control, the background color is changing because we are calling on blur event there. Okay, this is what on blur works. And now let me go back to presentation, and we have something other two events, that is on change and on submit. Okay, now let me show you on change, how it works. So now let me jump to Visual Studio Code, and here we have something, the code what we wrote for blur. Now let me remove this as of now. Okay, let me remove this function also. Now let me code for on change event. It's very simple. So as I explained you, enter your name. Okay, after that I'm going to take a input type, that is text, and let me take a ID for this, ID as demo, and after that I need to call an event, that is on change event. So to this I need to attach a function. Let me take the function name as call function. Okay, this dot id, it's going to fetch particular id. So after that let me take a button. How can I take a button? I need to set input type to button, and let me attach id to this as well. Okay, then let me attach a value property to this, and the value is submit. Now what I need to do is I need to write a definition for this function present here. Okay, before that what I'll do is I'll take a line, then text box value, I'll take it as label. Let me attach id to it. ID is label text. So now we are going to learn about on change event exactly. So I need to write a function definition for the function call function, and to this I need to pass a parameter id. So what happens right now, document dot get element by id. So what I need to do is right now I need to get this element, okay, on change. Once user enters the text here, it has to come and it has to send the entire text to this label. Okay, how can I achieve that? With the help of on change event. So what I'll do is I'll pass one, I'm telling my function to identify the element with this id. So once it identifies, what it has to do is it has to attach the text whatever present in this input control text to this label. So how can I fetch the content? Okay, type of inner html, okay, is equal to document dot get element by id. So my objective is once user enters the text here, that text has to come and replace in this label. So what I've done is I've identified this label with the id label text. Now to this label I need to attach the value present in this input control. So how can I identify this input control? With the help of this id. So document dot get element by id. So here I'm going to pass that id. Okay, dot value to controllers. Okay, now let me go back and let me refresh the page. So here comes my, I'm going to enter the name. So the name I'm going to take as Sam. Now as soon as I click on change, the value is coming to this text box. So what's happening here is I'm attached to this input control on change event. Once user fills the text and once he comes out and once he clicks, okay, that value is attached to this text box. So this is how on change event works. Okay, and now I have left with on submit. Okay, I hope guys you can try this one, it's very simple. Okay, I hope you have explained all these things very clearly, and you can try with the last one on submit. Okay, now you have filled the form. At the last, like on submit, what should happen? Okay, to be simple, on submit it has to validate the form. So you have to call a JavaScript function which validates the form. Okay, this is how OnSubmit works. Okay, and finally, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel Ankpro Training. You can also like our Facebook page visiting this URL. You can also follow us on Twitter. Further reference ref our websites. We're on LinkedIn too. Last but not the least, please don't forget to give the feedback. Thank you. Have a great day.